Welcome back to a rainy our house. The boys will be looking to get things back on track after defeat at Morecambe, and it's a big butts clash. So, come on in. As you can see, we're at Marlow Road, and what's the Chairboys training without a little bit of two-touch to get things started?
Taking no pictures of me, but we're fine. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Tuesday! Go on then.
No, you're not ready, not ready.
Anywhere. You annoying me then.
Got the longest game ever.
Nice.
What happened now?
You know.
Take the one that went through Jord and
It was a bit of a. I did take it to be fair.
What do you think it is? Playoff? Playoff.
Hold
I think it's Coolsy. Anyone think it's Coolsy? I think he's better.
I'll be taking that. It's gone for the middle.
yeah, it's got to be some sort of playoff.
What do you want to play off? It's got to be playoff.
Whoa!
Whoa!
JB!
Come on.
Turn that shit off. Come here. Let's go. Chris, come on. Bale's not here. Bale's not
One touch me, Ellie.
One touch everything.
Feet only.
Feet only.
There he is, there's one.
Where's Bale? That better go nowhere.
Footballers tend to go viral for things they do on the pitch, but that wasn't the case for David Stockdale this week. We caught up with our number 13 about all things Stocko.
Stocko, a long trip last Saturday and a defeat on the road. How have the boys reacted this week?
Brilliantly. We all knew that we weren't at our levels that we usually are. We're good enough to accept, and credit to Morecambe on the day. They're down there fighting and scrapping for every point. We're doing the same, but it just weren't our day. Things weren't right for us, and we've looked at it. We've held our hands up, as you say, and the gaffer accepts that, and we've got to put it right.
And in terms of your personal performance this year, you're right up there in the clean sheets in the Football League standings. But I know you'll tell me it's the team game. Defensively, Wycombe have looked very solid at great points of this season.
Yeah, I think historically we've always had that about us. There's been times which you're always going to get that your 4-3s. It seems to be Morecambe really, doesn't it? Your 4-3s, your 3-2s. These are the ones that we're trying to cut out. But if you look at it overall, I don't know how many clean sheets we've got. But I'd say that we're up there, and especially at home with the results we've been getting, it is literally our house.
Fans can see you're a fiercely competitive individual. The game against MK Dons has got some real spice on this one. They won on Tuesday night, so if they were to win at Adams Park, they would overtake Wycombe in the table. Does that add to the edge of this game?
Not for me personally, because I want to win every game like it's my last game. Even in training, as the gaffer will tell you, I'll argue with the gaffer for 20 minutes that a goal wasn't a goal, and I might be losing 2-1. And he's like, what are you doing? Because I want to win everything. So, again, cliches, you want to win every game. Yes, we know the importance of the MK Dons game, but for us, the focus is putting Morecambe right for a start, and whoever was coming after Morecambe was going to have a good go at, so just that so happens to be MK Dons.
Now, away from the game, your website has created a bit of interest in the last week or two. What's that about?
Yeah, it's been up for quite a while, and it's more like a visual CV. Been great crack on Twitter, as you know. If Ricky Gervais fancies to follow back, he can follow back, and I can compare. But no, it's great. Like a bit of traction, and people pick on it. It's the reports were very tongue in cheek and not great as in looking, but for me, they don't know who I am. They don't know that I like that kind of thing, and it's been brilliant for me. I've really enjoyed different photos fans have been doing, the different things, and you never know, a clean sheet on Saturday might be a dance, a Brent dance.
Well, I look forward to seeing that, but as someone new to the media team, any advice on how to go viral on social media, David?
Yeah, make yourself a website and make sure someone picks up on it. I wonder who you could do, Phil. Alan Partridge, yeah.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, do a Phil Partridge page. There you go, Triple P.
But to bring it back to a serious matter, I mean, you're mid-30s now. Is this website almost sort of you paving the foundations for what happens after you have to stop playing?
Yeah, well, I've built those foundations and I'm up and running. And no matter what the website looks like, I'm not as successful as what people might think, or I'm no flipping Bill Gates or anything. So let's not get that. I think it was more aimed at that. Like here, the lads who need any advice on moving forward in their career or need anything, they know that I've started a successful business and can maybe help out. I'm a qualified electrician, so I've done that course, I've done different businesses, and that's what it's all about. So it's been good because other footballers been able to approach me and say, I didn't know you'd done that, how do you go about it? And it's kind of like a mentoring thing, and I'd love to do something like that I do it with a couple of young lads, not mentoring, but they come to me quite a lot and ask me opinions on maybe money matters or what I think they should do and ways forward, and just basically like trying to, it's hard to say educate because I keep saying to them, you have to make your own mistakes, but you have to learn from them, and it's nice to have the advice so you know when you've made a mistake, yeah, there it is, I can see it. But I enjoy that. I enjoy people thriving. I enjoy people doing well, and there's a lot of people that struggle with that in life. And if I can help someone get where they want to be, that improves me, and giving without taking back is a big thing. So believe in karma and good things come back.
So David Stockdale, footballer, entrepreneur, philanthropist, businessman, and I didn't see electrician on your website. You missed a trick there.
Yeah, well, look, that might be a new website, so keep your eyes peeled, like Brent Electronics or something like that. It sounds like it's got a ring to it.
I've got a couple of lights that they're putting up, David. I can't find an electrician at the moment. Are you available next week, early next week?
I've done all Anthony Stewart's lights in his house when he moved in. So little things like that I enjoy. He goes, what, can you come do this? I was like, yeah. So I put a few lights in for him and got him sorted in his new home. So again, just something giving back and enjoy him. I get to spend extra time with my defender, who's doing shuttles around the kitchen.
Brilliant.
We return this week to our house, the residence. This time round, it's Csaba from the stadium maintenance team. Name and job title.
My name is Csaba, and I'm a maintenance assistant.
And what does a maintenance assistant actually do? What's like your day-to-day?
We look after the general state of the stadium and try to improve everything. As in, like, make sure all the seats are repaired after the games, and litter picking to everything, really.
And how long have you been at Wycombe?
Like 8 years plus.
So you've been here quite a long time. What do you think the best thing about working here is?
Do you know what? I thought about this because you gave me all those questions earlier, and I had a look, and there's not like a single best thing that you can, like single out. But when I get up in the morning, I don't have to think about like, oh crap, I have to go to work. I just walk in and it's all right. So it's a good place to work.
And how would you describe the team? Like everyone in the office, everyone in the control room, maintenance team, describe them in 3 words.
It's too hard. 3 words. I don't know. Tea, coffee, biscuits.
I guess they're all good things, so that'll do. So obviously, yeah, you've been here 8 years. Where do you think you see the club in another 5 years?
Well, it looks like everything's moving forward, so it'd be further along towards all these positive things happening.
What are the kind of positive things that are?
Well, the football is good, the fans are nice, the stadium's been improved a lot, so that's all just more and more positive things happening.
And obviously a lot of those changes have come about because of the Cooings coming in. What's it like working under Pete and Rob and Missy?
Oh, I think they're tremendous people, I have to say tremendous. And yeah, they got the sanity, the energy, positive people, so it's all just, it's getting there.
And what's one thing that you'd only know about the club if you worked here?
Ooh. I don't know. I know who put the 2 flags up by the gate.
Who's that then?
Me.
Oh. Okay, and last one. What's your best moment been in those 8 years working at Wycombe?
I thought about this as well, and there's plenty. The latest one perhaps was my Christmas present. I enjoyed that. And last year maybe playing on the pitch alongside with Blooms and the gaffer. That was good.
Our development team has gone from strength to strength this season, and the man behind all of that is Sam Grace. Phil caught up with him earlier this week about its growth and the talent in the side.
Sam, a development team game this week on Monday against an Ipswich Town 11. How do you think it went?
Yeah, it was a really competitive game actually for us. Ipswich had a couple of players that have been training with the first team as well. So that was really good from the start. It matched the physicality and intensity which we're looking for from these games. Probably quite an even first half, I'd say, with them taking the chances. A couple of moments where we didn't quite defend the levels that we'd like to. Second half, I think we really stepped on them, and we just missing that final pass around the box, that bit of awareness, that bit of quality to get us our goal. But actually, in terms of you're looking at individuals, and that's always what it's about. How are they progressing in terms of the areas we've identified for them? Also looking at fitness, because the nature of these, development group players, often there's a greater training load than there is playing load. To see them pressing and really putting it to Ipswich for that whole time, I think bodes well for the upcoming game in the Berks and Bucks.
And the makeup of the starting 11, it's development players, but you've also got matched players from the first team squad as well. How easy is that to manage, or difficult? Is that a challenge to integrate those players in?
Do you know what? I think hypothetically it could be a challenge. You hear at other clubs players not wanting to play in those, but it's actually the opposite here. If we go back to the previous one, we actually had to say no to one of the first team players because we need to get these boys minutes. And the fact that they're so keen to play them says, I think, a lot about their character, and it makes such a difference, in terms of their voices that are listened to. They've got that experience, and they really help these younger players through those moments and recognising what's required.
And an opportunity for Gareth Ainsworth to watch a game, a bit like we do, sort of higher up in the stand and not having that sort of communication element to the game. What's it like having him sort of overlooking it?
Gaffer's good. He leaves it to you. There's the game. The same as I'm sure he wouldn't want us halfway through coming down and telling him I've seen this and seen this. So he lets us get on with it, and then obviously we review it afterwards. Things that we thought worked, things that caused us problems. Obviously go through each individual and how their performance was in the game.
Being around the training ground, what I've noticed over the years is the level of equipment now and the analysis and the opportunity. But obviously at game time gives you all of that footage now. What happens to that footage afterwards? What do you do with it?
Yeah, so obviously Josh records the game. So these games aren't, we're lucky that if you played in, for instance, the Papa John's Trophy, they're individually clipped, so everyone can watch every single moment. For these games, the way you set it up with the players is they'll do their own clips. So I want them to watch the 90 minutes and clip the areas they think they've done well in, they have a learning plan, so linked to their strengths, but then also they've got 4 key objectives that we're working towards them improving through the season. So they'll look to bring them up. And the reason I do it that way is I think traditionally maybe the coach goes to them and goes, you need to work on this, this and this, and shows you the clips, and they go, yeah, okay, I get that. But actually it's quite interesting to see. I want to know what they've seen, what they've perceived in the game. So we do it that way round, and then if there are any others, I'll drop them onto their clips, and that will go up on, we have a system called Huddle. So all the coaches, all the members of staff are tagged into that, so they can have a look for themselves, see what the coaches are. So if the gaffer thinks that, let's say Ollie, there's an area that he was looking at, he can quickly go and look at Ollie's clips and get an understanding of what he's put up. And
you mentioned the Berks and Bucks Cup. A lot of the older fans are very excited that Wycombe are back in it, Long Crendon away in February. But for you, it gives you a competitive nature to these games for the development side.
Yeah, I think generally these players will have played academy fixtures predominantly, and whilst there are cups within that, probably not with the same amount of fans. Maybe the FA Youth Cup has given that. So I think for them, playing with a little bit of pressure, whether that be internal or external, is an important part of their development.
Alex Messi, Chris Serino really making a mark now on the first team squad on a match day. Is that helpful for you now when you're trying to attract players into Wycombe Wanderers, into the development system, and also to the players already here that are working hard? Are they your poster boys, I guess? Yeah,
the word is definitely spreading. So obviously people contact us now and they go, listen, we've identified Wycombe. So often you'll have players that are in a club and they're good players, but there's just no pathway for them. So they recognise you come to Wycombe, you train with the first team, there's no separate B team, there's no under 23s, you've not got to impress another coach before being seen by the first team manager. And they see the likes of Anis obviously last year, Chris this year getting opportunities. I think that's great. It shows the faith the gaffer has, that there's two different positions. Because sometimes I think it's easier to play an attacker. If you're 3-0 up, you bring on a young player for 15 minutes, you expect to still win. As a defender, it can be different. If you can't physically deal with who you're up against, you're going to get targeted, and sometimes it's a lot harder. You don't put on the centre back for 15 minutes at the end. In terms of those two within the building, very keen to learn, very honest when appraising themselves. They don't hide or try and shy away from hard moments. And I think their confidence has grown, and it does spread to the others and go, that can be me. So yeah, it's looking good.
Something I picked up from in your interview with the excellent Wycombe fans in the Wanderer is the name Development Squad. That carries a lot of importance to you in terms of what it means. Can you explain a bit about that?
Yeah, so I think when we started, obviously you're trying to let people know that we've added an extra layer to the squad. So I think we naturally fell into B team, but with the way it developed over the season, we didn't want to sign players to put on a fixture. We didn't want 18 players with 14 there just so that we can get on a fixture on each week. So as it progressed, and we said we're going to go small, they're going to train with the first team, and that will speed up their development. We realised we need to change the name, the development group, so it shows that you're in the first team environment, you are part of that squad, and you're still trying to push, and you want to get to an established first team squad player, but you're not separate, and that's really important for us.
The arrival of Phil also sees us adopt the Ringing the Blues podcast as our own. A big part of that is Chairboy Spanish, and although a lot of you think it's just Phil putting on an accent, it's not. Meet Urie.
Hola, it's Urie from Ringing the Blues podcast. Yes, it's a real Mexican wearing a Mexico national team shirt, not Phil Catchpole making funny voices. Yes, I'm Urie, and I bring you the results every week from League One. And yes, I'm part of the worldwide Wycombe phenomena. Oh yes, I'm a proud chairboy too, from Mexico City. And let me give you a bonus chairboy Spanish this week. Bayos Akinfenwa header against Wycombe? Well, the Spanish commentator called that a palomita. But what is a palomita? Well, chairboy Spanish. Paloma, dove. Palomita, little dove. So, in Mexican football culture, when a striker heads the ball, diving in the sky and flying like a dove to later meet the ball in the sky and put it in the net, Well, we call that a paloma, a dove. Well, a palomita, a little dove. So just picture the beast, Bayo Akinfenwa, flying in the sky and meeting the ball to put it on the net, flying like a little palomita, like a little dove. Oh, poor little beast. That was so beautiful, that moment in the air. That was a very beautiful goal against Morecambe.
That's all for another episode of Our House. It's MK on Saturday, and if you're not going to be there, why not? Come and cheer on the Chair Boys.